Bukayo Saka is subject to major interest from Manchester City, who see him as the ideal replacement for Raheem Sterling. This has been confirmed by Sammy McBell, one of the most credible journalists in England, one of the most credible journalists across Europe, especially when it comes to transfers. Of course, Fabrizio Romano has given his thoughts and feelings about Bukayo Saka's contract extension, which is very much what the article from Sammy McBell talks about. Arsenal ramping up their efforts to tie him down to a new long-term contract to fend Manchester City off. Of course, when Man City come calling, this is big, big news. But the question is, will Bukayo Saka's head be turned, or is the pull and the law of remaining at his boyhood club, playing for Mikel Arteta, too strong at this moment in time to break the bond? Smash the like and share button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Make sure you scan that QR code as well. Protect yourself when using the internet. Let's go. Saka is one of the best young talents in Europe. Scrap that. Saka is one of the best young talents in the world. So the first message I've got to Arsenal fans, of course, the best teams in the world are going to be interested. First and foremost, that's it. And the fact that Liverpool, you don't need a report to tell you that Liverpool, that City, that Real Madrid, that Bayern Munich, to name four of them, look and monitor players like Saka. Why would you not? Anything at any moment can happen at a football club that means a player can become available. You want to know that the person is right for you. Of course, they've looked at him. Of course, they've scouted him. Now, Sammy McBell has said today, and I'll read out the headline from his article, that Arsenal ramp up their efforts to tie down Bukayo Saka to a new long-term contract after Manchester City identified him as one of their number one targets to replace Sterling. And the Gunners Chiefs are confident he will sign a new bumper deal. So let's just start off by saying that this isn't we're not being hyperbolic. We're not going over the top. We're not ignoring what the article says. When you look at Man City, there's a number of players they're allowing to leave. Bernardo Silva is an example. Raheem Sterling's another. And people have been asking this question all summer. Why are they letting so many go? Will they sign somebody else? Of course, Haaland, Alvarez has come in. Calvin Phillips, they're looking at Cucurella at left back. But what about the attacking ranks? Who could they go for? Who could be this next talent they bring into the football club to help take them to that next level? Now, Bukayo Saka starts for me regularly for Man City, although he uses a rotation system. He's that good. I think he has every bit the ceiling and the capabilities to challenge the likes of Phil Foden for forward positions, not so much central midfield. Mahrez, of course, a brilliant career, but on the downturn. And listen, Jack Grealish, as much as he cost £100 million, Jack Grealish has not set the world alight at Manchester City, and Saka will be after his starting berth as well. Arsenal are absolutely right to try and accelerate this. And as Fabrizio says, and it's worth focusing on what Fabrizio has said here, Saka's contract extension has always been a priority for Arsenal. You listen to what Sammy McBell says, they're going to push on more. Talks are still ongoing with his agent in order to reach a full agreement on a long-term deal. Saka is happy with the Arsenal project, discussing salary details. Now, again, nothing that Sammy McBell has said suggests that Saka isn't happy. But you have to ask yourself this question. Arsenal are clearly worried about it. They have ramped up their efforts. Let's get this done quick. And there's two reasons that you want to get it done quick. One, Man City will let me rephrase this. I want to get this right. Man City can turn anybody's head. They are winning Premier Leagues. They are competitive in the Champions League. They're competitive in every cup competition. A player with Saka's ability, with his intelligence, with his athleticism, his availability, and the age that he's still at, very young still, could go on to have an exceedingly successful career. And look, being a first teamer at Arsenal was amazing. This is whether or not this could come down to him saying, Even with Arsenal doing better and better each year, will I ever achieve at Arsenal what I could achieve at Manchester City? That could turn his head. I'm not saying it will. That could turn his head, though, which is exactly why Arsenal want to tie him down to a new long-term deal. Now, secondly, the second thing is you might turn him down to a long-term deal, and that's it. He is bought in for the next 6 years, 7 years. He's an Arsenal player, loves the football club with a passion, and wants to be a one-club man. That is, again, equally plausible thought process. He could want to be a one-club man and remain at Arsenal for the foreseeable, believe in the project, believe in Mikel Arteta, believe in Edu, believe in the Cronkies, believe that Arsenal will get back to being a powerhouse in the English game. They are in name and history and size and money. I'm talking about winning the major trophies. And there's a third option in this. Tie him down to a new deal, even if his head's turned. At least that way we guarantee ourselves a mega bucks deal for him in 1 year, 2 year, however many years' time. There's 2 years remaining on this Saka contract. The last thing Arsenal need is the player saying, I'm not signing now, I'm going to leave it another year. You then run the risk that if he does leave, you'll get a much smaller fee than the talent of a Saka demands, wins you in this transfer window. To read some of the article out to you, here it says that Arsenal are to accelerate their attempts to lock Saka down to a new contract amid concerns that Manchester City view youngster Raheem Sterling as the dream Raheem Sterling replacement. And I think that's the big thing here. It's the Raheem Sterling replacement. And it isn't a replacement for a player that's leaving in a year or two. It isn't being, if it was linked to like Liverpool last year, and it was like they're looking at him as a potential long-term replacement to Mo Salah, you'd go, no, Mo Salah's not leaving just yet, nothing to worry about. There is a place in this team. Sterling primarily played on the left-hand side for Manchester City, and Arsenal fans were saying for a lot of this summer when they were linked to Rafinha, Saka's actually better on the left-hand side. So it makes a lot of sense why City want him. And I know that they'll be, and I know I've already seen a few people on the TL frustrated, why City are after him? Listen, this isn't Aston Villa trying to poach one of your best talents. This is the best team in England right now. They've got the best manager in the world right now. They've got every right to try and take Arsenal's best players. They've got every right to try and take pretty much anybody's best players and believe they've got a bona fide chance of doing it. And Saka's always been an interesting player for me. As much as I'm a rival fan of Arsenal, I've done nothing but praise this young kid. Protect this young kid where for whatever my influence is, which is very small in the grand scheme of things, but every little helps. I think he's a tremendous talent. Never been one of these people to like compare him to others and slag him off, or when he goes on a bad run, say he's trash. I've always felt that Arsenal needed to put more experience around him to really help nurture his development. But I've also had this belief as well that if he did become the player that I believed, that Arsenal would have a hard job keeping him there, should they not progress back to the same level as Manchester City. And this is where Saka needs to be really mindful of the deal that he does. And this will be in his train of thoughts. And this will be in his agent's train of thoughts even more. The agent's job is to completely protect his player, his future. And even if you fully believe that Arsenal are going to get back to the very, very top, Arsenal making it back to the top and winning Premier Leagues is less likely than Man City continuing to win them in the foreseeable future. And what Saka doesn't want to do is tie himself into a club that doesn't ever become as competitive as he would want it to be. So there's a release clause in the new contract. Maybe there's a kind of a break in it where, for a certain period of time, they can listen to bids. I don't know. If they don't get into, maybe there's a release clause if they don't make the Champions League in the next 2 years, as an example. I'm spitballing here. I'm throwing out hypotheticals. Maybe there's something along those lines that Bukayo Saka does. And that would be my advice to him. I was saying this a couple of years ago at Man United about some of our youngsters. If we don't get better in the next few years, you've got to leave. You can't stay there. I've been advocating for Harry Kane to get out of Tottenham for 5 straight seasons now, because I think you will ruin your career. Now, I'm not suggesting for a single second that Bukayo Saka is going to ruin his career by staying at Arsenal. I'm stating, and if I was advising him, that he has to keep his mind open. Arsenal Football Club in 15 years will be here. Bukayo Saka won't. He'll be retired and he'll be moved on, or in and around retirement. Footballers have a very short lifespan in the grand scheme of football. They need to make the right decisions for themselves. But what can't be disputed is what Fabrizio Romano has said, that Saka is happy with the Arsenal project and discussing his salary. Samuel Bell has stated that the Arsenal chiefs are confident that Saka will sign a new bumper deal. So there is no major fear right now for Arsenal, no major fear. But the club have got this little feeling, just this little look over their shoulder. That's Man City that are coming. It's not Aston Villa. It's not Leicester. It's not Man United that are on the same level as us right now. In fact, behind us in most people's opinions. It's not like Tottenham are going to come knocking. And I don't even mean that disrespectfully to those clubs. This is Manchester City. And in the modern day era, they are a juggernaut and a powerhouse. Arsenal need to get him tied down. They need to get this deal sewn up quick. They need to give him a big pay increase to keep him at that football club and do one or two things, essentially. Tie the player down so he's committed to you for the future, or at least guarantee a massive paycheck for Arsenal should the player decide for whatever reason he wants to leave. That's the news for you right there. I want you to leave your comments below. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you